Ever felt like walking into a British workplace is like being dropped into a game where nobody's told you the rules? Yeah, there are all these hidden signals, these unspoken codes. And getting them right isn't just about being polite, it's absolutely crucial for your career. So think of this as your official survival guide.
And right there, that's the heart of the challenge, isn't it? This whole web of indirect communication. It's a world built on politeness, understatement, and so much subtext. If you take every word literally, well, you're going to miss the real point almost every single time.
So here's our game plan. We're going to tackle this in 4 stages. First, we'll crack that tricky communication code. Then, we'll get you mastering the everyday social rituals. After that, we navigate the invisible red lines. And finally, we'll reveal how to quietly succeed. Let's get you from feeling confused to feeling totally confident.
All right, level 1, and this is the big one, decoding the language. We're not just talking about vocabulary, we're talking about what's hiding underneath the words. Let's dive into a few classic examples you are guaranteed to hear.
Okay, first up, a true classic. If your boss says your idea is interesting, maybe don't start celebrating just yet. This is often the polite British way of saying, no, not a fan. It's a soft way to deliver a hard no, filling a space that in other cultures might just be left silent.
And that brings us to the famous British love of understatement. You hand in a piece of work you're really proud of, and your manager says, not bad. You might feel a bit deflated, right? Don't be. In Britain, that's high praise. It's pretty much the equivalent of getting a gold star. Ooh, now this next phrase is a real trap for newcomers. If you get a chance. It sounds so casual, so optional, doesn't it? Well, spoiler alert, it is absolutely not optional. This is a polite command wrapped up to avoid sounding too bossy. So when you hear it, treat it as urgent. With the greatest respect. When you hear these words, just brace yourself. This is the formal warning shot. It's the signal that a polite but firm disagreement is about to land. It's basically the verbal equivalent of someone putting on their fanciest gloves just to tell you you're completely off track. So how do you actually win this communication game? Well, here are your cheat codes. The tone of voice tells you almost everything. Always be hunting for that subtext. And if you're ever in doubt, it's totally okay to ask for clarification. Something simple like, just to be sure, you need this by Friday, shows you're on the ball, not that you don't understand.
Okay, on to level 2, the everyday social rituals. These might seem small, but trust me, they're not just habits. They are daily tests that signal whether you get it, whether you fit in. This is where you build real trust.
And this is not an exaggeration. Queuing, lining up, is practically a sacred act in Britain. It's all about fairness and order. Whether it's for the microwave or the printer, breaking the queue is seen as a major social crime. Just don't do it, ever. Next up, the legendary cuppa code. Making tea is not really about the tea. It's a critical social bonding ritual. You never, ever just make a cup for yourself. Remembering how everyone takes their tea is like a mini memory challenge that shows you care. And even if you don't drink the stuff, making the offer is what matters. It says, I'm one of you. Okay, here's a quick but super important tip. That delicious, spicy fish you brought for lunch, maybe save it for dinner at home. In a shared office space, really strong food smells are kind of seen as an invasion of everyone's personal bubble. It's an unspoken rule, but a powerful one. All right, we're leveling up now. This is about the invisible fences, the red lines. If you cross these, you can cause some genuine awkwardness or even damage your professional relationships. These are the things you just don't do. Welcome to the conversational minefield. Topics like how much you earn, who you voted for, or your messy breakup, they're all considered off-limits for office chat. It's not because people are cold, it's about keeping work a neutral, comfortable space for everyone. The line between private life and work life is pretty firm. Digital privacy is another huge one. The default setting in a British office is phone on silent, phone out of sight. If you have to take a personal call, you step away to do it privately. Now, this can be a big adjustment if you come from a culture where answering a call from your mom at your desk is totally fine. Here, it can be seen as unprofessional. And now we've reached the final level.
You're surviving. You get the codes. You're making the tea. But how do you actually thrive? How do you get promoted without breaking all these unwritten rules about being modest?
This all comes down to a really powerful idea: quiet ambition. In many cultures, you're taught to be your own biggest cheerleader, to shout about your successes. Here, it's often the exact opposite. Ambition is something you demonstrate through sheer competence and reliability. The goal is for your work to shout, so you don't have to.
So, how do you actually put this into practice? Let your actions do all the talking. Consistently hand in great work. Ask for feedback that shows you're keen to grow. Put your hand up for the challenging projects, and, this is key, always share the credit with your team. Your time to brag is in your private performance review, not in the middle of the office.
And that's really the final takeaway, isn't it? Building a career in the UK is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about earning a reputation over time as a safe pair of hands. Someone who's reliable, a team player, and just consistently good at what they do. That's what gets you noticed in the long run.
So, there you have it. You're now armed with the secret codes to the British workplace. You know the real meaning behind the words, you know the team-making protocol, and you know how to show your ambition without, shouting about it. So let me ask you, what's the one rule here that you really wish you'd known sooner? Because mastering this stuff isn't about changing who you are. It's about learning how to play the game so your talent can truly shine.